Hey, what's up guys? Ryan here again with my newest Nintendo playthrough. It's a no-death run of Little Nemo the Dream Master. Now this was a game that I used to play all the time when I was a kid, and I thought it was the most complicated thing I'd ever seen. You know, you jump into different animals and stuff, and I could never seem to really get past. I think I got to the train level once, and then I kept on dying, because that level is pretty hard. You'll see it here in a minute. But playing it now as an adult, this game is pretty linear. I mean, it's a Capcom-made game, so it looks good. The controls are good. But there was this kind of look about it where I kind of felt like you can go anywhere you want, and you kind of can, but every level is pretty linear. Even with the different animals and stuff, all the animals are they all seem to be coincidentally right where they need to be for the next section of the level. Other than that, I mean, this game is pretty great. Like I said earlier, it controls really well. If you guys aren't familiar with the game and as a whole, like how to play it, basically you're this kid that runs around, and if you go to the left with that mole, you can go like all the way to the left. There's like a secret area with like a 1-up, I think, but it doesn't have anything to do with this playthrough because I don't die. So I just wanted to kind of show you that's an area you can go if you want an extra life early in the game. This game does have infinite continues, which is nice. Obviously, I don't use them in this particular playthrough, but I did use them for my first time completing the game. Anyway, going back to the game, I forgot what I was talking about when I was rambling. As you can see, the game... the object of the game, I guess. Okay, so... I haven't actually watched the full story in the beginning. All I know is you're asleep, and this is your dream world. And then, the only other thing I know is you keep on getting yelled at by your mom, I'm assuming. Which is kind of strange. Go ahead and go to level 2. This game is fairly short as well. You can probably see by the length of the video. So with this guy, he tells you to go into the water. I don't go into the water because I don't need to, because I know the information already. Basically, the information, like the water that's right here, you can see. You're supposed to just hold down, and you end up in a different area of the game, which somebody basically tells you to look up in the trees for the lizard. And you'll see why here in a second. So, the characters in the game that you can play as, or jump on, or in, or whatever, however you want to put it, they're all pretty unique, which is kind of why I like it. There's not too many of them, so it doesn't seem like too much oversaturation with like a whole bunch of different animals. I mean, all the animals kind of tend to repeat each other, but the game is pretty simple. As you can see, I'm going up the tree. Those little puffball things, in order to get them to do what you want, when they hit a certain height above you, they'll stop and basically home in on you, and you have to use that to your advantage as far as making them kind of go where you want them to go and not injure you. You'll see I have notice the candy that I have on the right. It doesn't actually hit anybody. Like, it'll hit an enemy, but it stuns them. It doesn't actually ever kill anybody. So you don't use it that much, except for when you're trying to jump in, to an animal, which you can see. You give them 3 candies and knocks them out, and then you transform. The object of each game is to get a different number of keys. Most of the time it's 6. One level I think is 5, and a couple it's 7. So you can see at the end of the stage if you've missed any, because there's a bunch of locks next to a door. And if you missed one, all the locks don't unlock. So this is kind of like a walkthrough of kind of where to find everything. Is on top of, I played this game for about a week. Wouldn't say non-stop, but I definitely practiced this one, and I was able to put together a no-death run of this one as well. Which personally I like only because this was one of the games from my early childhood that I do remember playing. And it's always nice to kind of go back and, kind of always felt like unfinished business whenever I would see the cartridge in my collection. I never beat the game when I was little. So it is nice to be able to, beat a game from my past that I played a lot when I was little. Obviously, I'm a lot more coordinated and I kind of understand things a lot more than I did when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So you can see there's 6. I have 6 keys. There's 6 locks. Unlock to the next room. Excuse me. Excuse me again. So I'm up and walking. I'm guessing I'm in the middle of the night. I guess I'm getting all that to go back to sleep. So I jump back into my bed and go to sleep. Now this is the one and only. This might not be the only one. I think it is. This is. I'm gonna say it. This is the only auto-scrolling level in the game. You can see I'm on a train. And this was the level that I got to, I think, maybe once or twice when I was a little kid. I vaguely remember it, but anything past the train was all new to me when I started playing this game again. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. If you stand still, the planes that do end up crashing are never going to hit you. They always end up crashing before they get into your zone where they can hurt you. So you don't have to really be scared of that. Just pay attention to where you're going. There's plenty of the little medic packs. So that's your life. You can't extend your life bar, but each animal has different life. It has a different life bar. Like you saw on the second stage, the gorilla I think had like 5 hit points. It can get. And Nemo has 3. The lizard has 4. I don't know. But there's no transformation in this stage. This is just basically surviving the scrolling of the screen. If you do get stuck, like behind these walls or something, you will die. Like the game pretty much essentially crushes you and kills you if you get stuck behind a wall or something. So be careful with that. Everything I'm doing, it's pretty standard. You can see it's not very complicated, and the game doesn't get complicated. For me, learning the game was like how to beat this game without dying was just more about just practice, playing the levels over and over again. Just like any good old Nintendo game. Each time you played it, you always got a little further, and then eventually beat the game. Now, this game obviously is a little bit different because you get your infinite continues. So it's just more of an act of attrition than it is really difficult. Kind of like Ghosts and Goblins. You can play it as long as you want until you can't take anymore. So here's the end. You can see there's 2 extra keys left over. I'm guessing that's the game kind of compensating for the auto-scrolling. If you maybe happen to miss the 2 that were in the middle of the map, they give you the 2 at the end. So now we're introduced to more of the water. I haven't swum in the water yet because I haven't needed to. There was the one part that told me to go in the water, but I didn't. So this is the water level. In order to swim, you just move up. You don't have to hit anything. You just move the D-pad up, down, left, and right, and you'll do everything. And you can. Here's the hermit crab. This is what you're going to be using this level for the most part to get around or to dig. You need him later on. I don't think I'm spoiling anybody's fun. There's going to be a key in the sand at some point. But here's a little secret area. You get a free life here. I just wanted to kind of show off where, if you are having troubles, there you go. You can get an extra life. Pretty safe. Now, the reason why I switched back was because the hermit crab thing can't swim. It always goes to the bottom of the screen, and I need to swim to get to the next area that I need to get to. So that's why I switched. Here's another life if you need it. I didn't go for it, but there's a life if you need it. A medical pack. Go down, then there's going to be another key here. And you're actually going to go back the way you came. Go to the left. If you go to the right, you go underneath everything, but you need to end up coming back this way anyway in order to get this key I'm going to show you here in a second. Go this way. Jump into the lizard. See, like that key right there you can't get from the other side, which is where you would end up. You would end up coming up from the bottom right there. Okay, switching back, I gotta go to the hermit crab. Now sometimes, like the little black enemy that looks kind of like a fish or whatever, sometimes that's there and it's kind of annoying to deal with. I gotta switch back so I can swim. As you can see there, the little medicine bottle looking things, those are your health. Or they're like, you know, hit points, you can get them back if you get hurt. And there you go, there's only 5 in this stage, so I got all 5. Not exactly sure who that is. But like I said, I haven't seen the first, like the initial little video in the beginning. I've always just hit start of the game. I'm guessing he's in there somewhere, whoever that is. See, here's one of the stages. This is where the game seems to get more difficult as far as like just the layout, just, you know, kind of big and a lot going on. But in all honesty, if you look at it, I mean, it's really not that complicated. Each animal that you get, because obviously I can't go up to that next area, so I have to go to the right, which puts me here, and I can't get up to that chandelier, so I have to go down. So you just move down, and then eventually you hit a portion of the level where you have to go, basically jump off a cliff. You'll see it here in a second. What is he? Right here. I always try in vain to make that jump. I don't think it's possible. I think you're forced to kind of do all this. So the first animal you come into contact with is the lizard, he's very fast and he can cling to walls. So you make him run. Get the one up, get the key, come back down. Walk up. Now go get the bee, because that's... This game, it kind of seems to spoon feed you as far as the animals you need. Kind of would have wished you would, you know, maybe have to look a little bit harder for these things, but I mean, I don't know much about the little Nemo series. I guess it was a cartoon or it was a movie or something. I honestly couldn't tell you. I heard it was a movie. I've heard it was a cartoon. I never watched it, so I don't know what the demographic was for the kit for this game. This was kind of tricky. Okay, I'll give him this. You know, he's sticking with the bee to go up this way. Get your key. Go back down to get the key off the chandelier. Then you just kind of hang out under here because you have the bee. Just to move up, you just hit the A button. It kind of flaps your wings, I guess. And there's key number 5. Then you would go up to the left, which is the next opening you see. Then you get the mouse, which is new. I think pretty sure he's new to the game. And at this point in the game, I think he's new. The mouse is pretty cool. He's kind of like the lizard. He doesn't move as fast, but he has a hammer. Or he gives you a hammer to use, so you can attack people, or you can attack enemies and stuff. Which is nice. I actually think I might get in some trouble here. I don't remember what run this was. Oh, I do, yeah. I'm trying to fix this. Yeah, I got in some trouble. I kind of got silly and took some damage I shouldn't have. But it doesn't really matter. The end of the level is pretty much right here anyway. So, I mean, I have my 2 hits. You'll see here in a second. This way, get the bee. You're gonna come up. Now, the bee is nice because it has a ranged attack. It has the stingers. I'm sure you've seen. The stingers shoot across the. As you can see, they make fighting the enemies a lot easier because they can shoot full screen and you can dodge and get out of the way. So there's the 7 keys. On to what levels next. We'll see here in a second. I think it's a cloud level. Okay, so I'm getting yelled at again. Let's go back to sleep. Yeah, cloud ruins. Okay, so jump in my bed, go to sleep. Don't know who that is. Here's where the those little white puffy things can cause some problems. Okay, so you can jump up to that cloud that's moving diagonally. You can actually make that jump from the bottom one. I just kind of played it safe for this run. I didn't want to die so late in the game, but you can. That's a possible jump. You can do it. I would guess that if there's I don't know if there's a TAS video of this game. I'm guessing they did that. The one up, but it doesn't really matter for this particular run because I'm not going to be dying. Now the bumblebee, his flying is limited, so you can't just keep on going straight up. Eventually he'll stop and then use float. And if you don't make it in that particular section, if you don't make it to the next cloud you're going after, you'll end up falling to your death. So just a heads up on the bee. The flying isn't infinite. You do have a finite amount of time. Taking damage here doesn't really matter, only because you'll see here in a second there's a med kit that you end up getting, which gives you all your life back. There it is. So you go down, over. You need to have the laser to go underneath that small area. Now, so here's a trick. Make sure you get that white thing to follow you when you're standing on that platform. Because what happens is it actually follows you through this whole falling down process. And if you're not careful, you'll end up hitting it. Even though you can't see it, it's off the screen, the game still sees it as being there. So you can take a hit, and then by the time you kind of notice where you're at on the screen when you're falling, you might just completely fall to your death. Which it happened to me twice. Trying to actually record this video, and I ended up just stopping and really figuring out how that whole section worked, because I was tired of dying so late in the game. As you can see, the game kind of gift wraps all the keys for you. You don't have to do very much, you just make it to the end and they give you all your keys. So here's the last, well, it's not the last level, there's 2 levels. Okay, so this next level, see, so I'm getting yelled at again. I don't understand what the point of this is. Okay, Topsy-Turvy. Now, this is where my house is now upside down. You can see the windows are upside down. Now, what I thought would have been kind of neat is maybe if they took level 5, which was called NEMO'S house, if they would have just flipped that over, that would have been pretty neat. You just have a different look. So, I don't know what room this is supposed to be, but it's a whole different area of the house, I'm guessing. Third key. There, you're gonna float out. Now, going up to this, it doesn't matter which section you go up, like that left one or the right one, you end up in the same area. Just letting you guys know. It doesn't matter which side you go up on, the right or the left. Now I gotta use the mouse. And as you can see, I mean, there's not a whole lot of really roaming or anything. Like, everything's, like I said earlier, kind of gift wrapped for you. As far as, you know, oh, I happen to need to find a wall, and right next to that wall happens to be the mouse. You know, it's, well, like I said earlier, I don't know what age group this was made for. I'm gonna go ahead and take a guess as it maybe wasn't for a 30-year-old man in 2014. But, I mean, after a little bit of practice, I mean, I was able to pull this one off. If you go down to that little area, you can see there's the 1-up, and then there's a medical kit. I don't need the 1-up. If you go up to on the left, in that area, like where I was flying up, if you go to the left, it's pretty much an exact mirror of this room, but instead of a key, there's a 1-up. So there's another 1-up for you guys if you need one. Now here's where you kind of start needing to be careful, because some sections of this part of the house don't have a bottom, and if you end up kind of messing around, kind of losing track of where you're at, you can lose all your steam flying and end up dying. So, like right here, just make sure you get all the way to that area with the, make sure you just fly to the end of the screen. Once it stops scrolling, you just know that you're safe. Because you can see right there, on the left is death. So, once you jump onto that window, just go all the way to the right, and then just wait for the game to stop scrolling, then you know you're safe to land. So here is the part that, from what I can see, it looks like is causing this video to be so long. I can't skip any of this. You have to sit and watch all this stuff. Basically, the princess gives you a scepter thing and tells you to now attack the Nightmare King or something. And actually, a quick little fun fact. It's, during this section, I really had to go pee. So, right when I beat the last stage, I ran to the restroom and just let this part go. I knew I'd be back in time to finish the game without any major stops. So, gross. I don't think it's gross. Everyone pees. But I'm definitely peeing right now. So in other news, I don't know, who's new or whatever to this channel, but I got a couple more games I'm planning on playing through here today, which, I mean, spoiler alert, they're going to be the Fisher-Price little games. Not very difficult, but it's, some new stuff. I'm working on a Micro Machines playthrough right now, and I'm playing through Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I haven't completed yet. We'll see how that goes. And I don't know what else. I don't have anything else in the pipe. I was thinking about some Wii U stuff. If anyone gets this far in the video and is actually paying attention, if you have any suggestions for some newer stuff, let me know. I'll see if I can do it. Or if you have Nintendo suggestions, send them over to me. I'll see if I can do them. Again, I do use real Nintendo, real cartridges and stuff. So some games might take longer than others. It took me about a week and a half to beat Yonoid without dying, so keep that in consideration with some of the, if you have any requests. Okay, so here's the last stage of the game. It's level 8. It's called Nightmare Land or something. So you start off with the lizard, who's very quick. Get close to the bats, you bait them into moving, and then... Now be careful with that particular frog, because if you touch any of the spikes or the lava, it's instant death. It's not just a hit. You die right away. So sometimes that frog will hit you, and the game will kick you back into the spikes, which is unfortunate because you die instantly. Same with this little section with the flames. You can get kicked onto the lava and you die instantly. So in order to use this wand, you select it by hitting select, and then you hold the button down to charge it, and you let it go to shoot. As you can see, the strategy here is just to see what side that the penguin lands on, charge it up fully, let it rip. You might be able to get, as you can see, like 1 or 2 like short hits afterwards, but the main one you really want is the fully charged hit right as he's landing. It doesn't take very long to beat him. I think this might actually be the last hit. One more maybe. But it doesn't take that long, especially if you're using the fully charged shot. It doesn't take very long, as you can see. And the strategy for this particular boss is pretty simple. Now he's dead. Basically, you shoot him. Any kind of penguins that he sends at you, you kill them while simultaneously dodging the falling bubbles. Now this is probably the hardest section of the end. I'm showing you how to get another one up right here. Just right there on the corner. Nothing too big, nothing too difficult. It's an extra life. So you make your way up. All the way up. So first animal you come across is the lizard. Go ahead and jump on it. Get your speed. Now wait for that flame to go down, jump, and then now you're safe. Just kind of okay, so you make your way up to the right. You can see the lizard up there on the left. We're going to use him here in a second. Okay, so we go up. Now you can see this particular section is not very difficult because the lizard is so quick. Now here comes the fun part. So you basically have to replay that same section with the super slow lizard toad thing. Actually, yeah, it's probably more of a toad than as a lizard. Now this is where the game can get frustrating. He moves so incredibly slow, especially for a section where you kind of need speed. So you can see my technique here. You take a quick hop right after the fire goes down, and because when you're jumping, you go faster, like horizontally. So that's how you get past that section. A little tricky, but it's not that hard. So I have decided to keep the frog suit because there's this enemy here. You kill it, and then you switch back to Nemo right here. The reason why you kill that guy first is because what ends up happening is he kind of stalks you, and he jumps at you, and you don't want to get hit while the wall on top of you is on its way down, because you'll end up getting hit into the spikes and it's automatic death. So, make sure you kill him first, and then go ahead and move on. My only complaint would be that jumping out of the water seems kind of random. It says to hold, like, you're supposed to hold up and then jump, and you get like a higher jump off the water, but that doesn't always work. Now, this is the run killer as far as a no death run. This boss is random as far as its attacks. You can see it flies across the screen. When it comes up from the top like that, it just happened where it came diagonally from the top. Sometimes it'll come at you from a certain angle and there's no way to avoid it. With only 3 hits until you die, that can be a run. This was a run. I died here twice trying to record my no death, which is more frustrating because you have to play through the entire game and you have to wait for that whole sequence before level 8 starts. And yeah, so just be careful with this one, with this particular boss. can see him there on the left. So just do what you can, like to hit him with fully charged shots so it doesn't take as long. Usually, if you survive his onslaught of his random movements, you can get at least one of them at fully charged, and you can get a couple quick ones shot off after that. But the goal is to get at least one fully charged shot off for every time that he stops. Now with this particular run through, I was lucky enough to not get hit. That was sheer luck. Sometimes I have good runs, sometimes I have bad runs. Now this is the last stage, or last area before the final boss. You can see nothing really too complex or anything right now. You'll see a bee guy coming here in a second. And if I remember correctly, yeah, I actually got pretty lucky. So with these, with those spaces above me, you'll see them here in a second. They're supposed to fill up with little blocks that go up and down for whatever reason. Sometimes, like, I don't know how the game decides, but sometimes it doesn't have any like that time. Sometimes it only has one. Sometimes it has three. It all seems pretty random. Maybe it's just the way that the game kind of... See, now you can see the blocks again. The blocks on the left. So I don't know how the game decides, you know, how many it's going to throw at you. It always seems kind of random to me. But maybe it's not random. Maybe it depends on where you're at a certain point. Excuse me. So as the bee, you take the bottom route. See, now you can see those things are there now. So you take the bottom route. You can see there's actually no real enemies. It's from here on in. It's just okay. So you get the mouse. Now this wall is too high to fly up as the bee, so it forces you to become the mouse. Now you can see that the timing is pretty straightforward. You wait for the first one to kind of go down, then you run and jump across. Now there's the final boss. This is your first look at him in game. So that's the final boss of the game. So I'm gonna make my way across all this lava, and I got one more little area, and then so this area is kind of like the replenishing area. So you get your medical kit, you get 3 extra lives, and then you make your way over to the final boss, which, like in Castlevania, it's a big staircase, and then you go down, and then now here's the boss fight. Now the key here is to knock out that red thing. He'll periodically throw that red thing out, just it kind of tracks you. Do what you can to get rid of that first, and then deal with the laser. The lasers always have the same kind of pattern, so if you're close, you can kind of gauge where he's gonna. Like the lasers always go to the same space, so like it's always the same. Like 1, 2, and 3, they're always in the same area. So you can learn like where to stand, and you can be completely safe. So just do what you can to, as you can see, just do what you can to stay out of the way of the lasers. Destroy that red thing as soon as you can, as soon as possible, because it does end up, it leaves the screen and it'll come back like from behind, and it's just more of an annoyance than anything else. So now he's dead. Game is over. So I'm actually going to jump off the commentary now. I've pretty much said all I needed to say as far as any kind of promotion or whatever for this little page during the long cutscenes before level 8. So quick recap, I'm working on a couple more games. I would appreciate it if you subscribed, liked my videos or whatever. I don't know what they do, like YouTube thumbs up or whatever, like Facebook, I don't know. But I appreciate all the people watching. I know it's not very many. I think I get close to like 30 views like per video, which is I'm not making these for money. I'm just making them so people can kind of relive a little nostalgia a little bit. I enjoy playing the games, and I do put a lot of work and effort into these. These videos are me playing on the couch recording my Nintendo. I don't have the luxury of backtracking or using a save state to go back to a place before I died. If I die, I die, and I have to go back and learn what I did wrong and fix it. And it's really easy today just to find people that I can emulate my way through everything. And those videos I believe they have their place, but for me, there's no way around actually beating these games. And I'm a big Nintendo fan, so I definitely have a lot of fun doing these videos. I hope everyone that watches them enjoys them. And again, thanks for watching. Subscribe, do all the cool stuff. Show your friends if you want. My live stream. Okay, so I do have a live stream that I'm going to try to be doing here pretty soon. I've had a couple test streams. I ran through like Tom and Jerry, and did something else too. I forgot. But I'm gonna put a little link in the video description to my Twitch account. So I would appreciate it. Follow me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/gnar_blast. Someone took my name for some reason. So I'm heading out of here. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the experience of Little Nemo, the Dream Master on Nintendo, without dying.